Yo, for a shiny! Oh, that's a shiny Scatterbug!
Yes, baby!
What if I told you those 3 shinies you just saw made this video shorter? Or better yet, those 3 shinies were part of the biggest event I've done to date. You see, it all started Friday, February 24th, where I went live on Twitch with an idea. A 72-hour capped stream, where 1, viewers can subscribe to extend how long we streamed, and 2, every time I found a shiny Pokemon, the stream got shorter. You see, it was essentially a yoink and twist of the popular subathon meta that many Twitch streamers do every day. But since ours was about shiny Pokemon, we also had some goals to go along with it. Goal number 1 was to find every Scarlet Paradox Pokemon. Goal number 2 was to negate as much time as possible. And goal number 3 was to set a record for the most shiny Pokemon caught in one day. During these goals, however, we had 3 major stories that took place. First was the insane 14-phase Roaring Moon. Second was the shiny Tinkatink that almost drove us to insanity. And lastly was how an AI bot forced us into one of the hardest shiny targets in the game. More phases than moon phases. Some people hate Roaring Moon, while some people want to fuck Roaring Moon, but most people think Roaring Moon is pretty awesome. I'm one of those people. I mean, just look at him. In lore, Mega Salamence supposedly takes inspiration from this beast-like design, and you can totally see it. However, he is well known for being one of the hardest Paradox Pokemon to hunt in this game. Roaring Moon is a dark dragon type with a 3.9% spawn rate. Normally, for a low spawn Pokemon, you can make a sandwich and spawn millions of them, but not Roaring Moon. You see, he shares multiple spawns with both of his typings. If you eat a dark sandwich, you have Zweilous, Sableye, and Sneasel that share the spawn. And if you eat a dragon sandwich, you have Gabite, Gibble, and Zweilous sharing that spawn. So with all that information, remember our first goal? Well, we decided early that to jump this hurdle, we had to start with the hardest one, thus beginning the first major challenge. Almost every single shiny I've showed you already was a phase leading up to this bestial croissant. And it broke me.
Shiny Zweilous! Wow!
But even at our lowest point, giving up is never an option. And after hours upon hours of hunting in this spot, our dedication was awarded.
Yes!
What do you think?
Yes!
Are you
Let's fucking go! Shut the fuck up, TTS! Finally! Finally! Holy fuck!
This started the chain reaction. You see, we went from this point on, finding shiny after shiny, target after target. Each Paradox form was caught with ease. And as day 1 came to an end, we completed 2 of our 3 major goals and closed out the first major chapter of our challenge. Day 1 ended with 30 shiny Pokemon, including all Paradox forms and then some. I felt untouchable, incredible, and more importantly, excited to tackle more. This next chapter takes place at the beginning of day 2. And after all 30 shinies we caught, we were still sitting at about 38 hours left, which means we had a lot of work to do. The crash. Day 2 started out on fire. Found a shiny Dunsparce, then right after, found a shiny Tinkatink. Oh my god, there it is right there! Holy shit! Yeah! Catching that Tinkatink at the time felt great. It was a shiny, it was marked, I've been wanting one, but this specific Tinkatink was a bad omen. Upon crash, the game loaded an old save, and the 2 shinies we just got became invalid. No, that doesn't make sense. What the fuck? Where did my save go? Frustrated as I was, I knew we had to reclaim them. So I started my second attempt in catching a shiny Tinkatink. And if there was ever one piece of advice you take to heart from me, please let it be this: never shiny hunt Tinkatink. Do you see how much of this is dedicated to Tinkatink? This is insane! 4 hours of my life, no phases, 8 sandwiches, and this little rat never spawned. my mental, my hope, my chances of getting another 30-day shiny were ruined, as each waking hour spent in these ruins literally ruined me. And I was too stubborn to get up and choose something else. No, something in my brain said I couldn't move on until this pink brat with a rusty bat was sitting in my box. And that's simply what I did. I sat there killing every single one I came across. Not because it was faster. No, I did it because it felt good. It felt like revenge. And funnily enough, the game rewarded me for my execution. Is that it? Oh my God, yes! I'm free! I'm free! Finally, dude! Oh my God, bro! And thankfully, the game didn't crash at all for the rest of the event. Our final story takes place during night 2 and a little bit into morning 3. All throughout this event, people could gift subs, like I said before, to gain back the time that I'm removing. And one of those sub goals was to let a chat AI bot choose our next target at random. The curse of AI. And as we open that last crazy chapter of our subathon, I just gotta remind you all of one thing. Subscribe! This AI randomly selected one of the worst hunts in this game. Now, at this point, we're sitting at a total of 41 shinies caught, and we got about 23 hours left in total. But for us to start reducing the timer even more, we had to break down the wall known as Shiny Zoroark. Zoroark is very similar to Ditto, where in the overworld, it takes place of the other Pokemon. Even if it's shiny, you won't know unless you use the Let's Go function to attack it. And even then, you will only know when you see your Pokemon sweat in the bottom left corner. Yeah, those little sweat drops, they actually mean something. Crazy, right? With all this information, we began our hunt. On top of the mountains, in the very top left of the map, there's a spot where Zoroark spawn heavily. And thankfully so. Essentially, all I have to do is kill everything. Literally. Kill every single Pokemon in the area. Keep our eyes glued to this bottom left screen. Over and over and over. It kept getting later and later, and eventually my ass couldn't handle it anymore. This AI has fucked me royally at this point, as the entirety of our second day is just wasted looking for this shiny. To think that this AI bot would just casually pick Zoroark and turn this subathon into my own personal hell was not on my bingo card. Bags under my eyes grew, and my body began to feel weaker as I couldn't do this anymore, and I turned in for the night as a failure. I do remember, though, as I laid in my bed, I stared at the ceiling, filled with frustration and anger. But deep down, a small light was shimmering as determination began to shine through. I knew right as I closed my eyes, I knew tomorrow was the day. And just like that, the final day began. Day 3 of our capped subathon, and we greeted the day with a mission. Finish out this Zoroark hunt. I instantly got a sandwich and began mowing down the masses. Not a single Pokemon stood in my way as I ran each and every single one of them over until finally, the gods above have graced our files. Yes! Yeah! Oh my God, it looks so good! Look at it, chat! Wow! What felt like an impossible hunt chosen by bots to ruin my streak ended up turning into one of my greatest stories yet. And that closes the final chapter in our subathon. We ended the subathon with 53 total shinies in 72 hours and over 350 total subs gifted. This was for sure a night to remember, and looking back, a lot more happened. I shaved my beard, I did the gritty a few times, I even served in a maid outfit. But I want to keep those memories between me and the people that were there. So if you want to be involved for the next time we do something like this, follow us on the Twitch. And more importantly, thank you so much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe, because this is the month of the shit lock. Content idea for you, Perp. Ready? Every time you encounter a Pokemon, eat a laxative gummy and see how long it takes if you get a shiny or you shit your pants.
I'm dying.
Listen, I have this idea written down. One day. Poop Lock is a Nuzlocke-like challenge where every time a Pokemon dies, I eat a sugar-free gummy bear. If you didn't know this, most sugar-free gummies have a warning, and that warning, which upon too much consumption can cause discomfort and or laxative effect. So every time a Pokemon dies, I eat a small, candied laxative.